Okay, dear friends, we are into the next unit, that is unit 4 in your syllabus, or the second unit that I do. Okay, the fourth unit. This is a very simple unit, what we are all used to. It speaks about introduction to the internet. So, what is internet? Terminology, uh, anatomy, some terms, protocols, usage, applications, etc. So this is the syllabus, the first part. You will find this note in our college website. If you go to the college website and click here, notes, okay. Of course, if you are on the mobile, you will find it below. No? On the notes, you will find this notes, BComs IT. Of course, you can download PDF and use it. All right. Now just going through. It's very clear. I think you don't need. So first is the definition. We know internet is nothing but network of networks. That means now we have not only computers, anything interconnected, making systems makes an internet. So here is a picture. You have mobiles, you have devices, computers, and all these together makes up what is called the internet. No, now, so can be any devices. It can also be devices in your rooms, etc. We have seen those. So how the internet has grown, that tells us, okay, how from starting from back in 1995 when it was just into the market, 4% of the world population, up to last year, 56. I will leave you to find out what is the value, the usage into 20. So fill up, make the note up to date. That's your work. Okay, so what would be the present percentage of internet usage in the world? Then domain growth. What's the meaning of a domain here? Internet has got different types of what you want to call it, sites or resources. So for example, you have our college website is ac.in, that's an academic, or edu is an academic, .com is a commercial, or org is an organization, or .tv are TV channels, and info sometimes .in, etc. So sometimes these domains explain country. It also explains what kind of information. So the maximum or mostly used are .com. Now that is a maximum used domain. So these are called different domains. So .com still is the maximum. Then, so who governs the internet? This is a question very often asked. There is nobody single or a country who owns the internet. It is everyone else, belongs to everybody uses, but there is a group that manages or sets standards and governs certain rules and protocols that are required. That is called Internet Corporation for assigned names and numbers. So this is actually the ones that manage the DNS, and the standards are managed by this group called the World Wide Web Consortium, a group that keeps the standards, etc. Okay, so these are the two groups. They are like an organization that controls, more than control, just oversees that the standards, protocols, rules for the internet. So what are the functions of W3C is given here. Then location, it's the state, United States. All right. Now, just to make a difference between two terms that very often confused, what is web and the internet, or World Wide Web. Now, internet is nothing but the structure, the machines, the connections, the media together, just like we saw the computer network. So this is nothing but a computer network. So internet is the structure, the machines, and the physicality of it. The World Wide Web is the resources, information on it. So one is the structure, the other is the resources in it. So don't get confused between the two, though terms are used both. There are some terms used here that we will see a little later. Now, some terminologies that are very commonly used. One is this World Wide Web, okay, which stands for resources, everything together, protocol, information together. We call it World Wide Web, whatever is used. Then a web page. Now, web page does not mean a physical page. That means on a computer, some information, a full information is called a web page. That is a web page. A website is somebody site, website. So collected a group of websites on the internet on a particular occasion, it is called a website. So a website usually defines and explains some information, related information. It may have many types of contents on a website. Then this is an important term very often asked, URL or Uniform Resource Locator. Any information that comes on the internet, okay, has got a unique, what you call it as an address or a destination that is called a uniform resource locator. So for example, if you look at any information, any website or a web content, that is called a URL because it is unique. It's only, it cannot be written repeating. So that is uniform. Then IP address. This is important. We know internet is nothing but combination of computers interconnected. Okay, connected through some media, wire, etc., whatever. So how do I name or identify each of these computers? Okay, so let's just take an example. I will do it here. So let's say I have got computers. These are all computers. Let's imagine maybe across the country, across the world. Now let these be connected, of course, through some medium, okay, wire, or it can be using wireless too. They are all connected. So this is your World Wide Web, maybe interconnected. So each computer in the internet has got what is called an IP address, okay, Internet Protocol address, a 32-bit number, and each computer is known by that number. So suppose you are on the internet, if you just type what is my IP, it will tell you an IP of your computer. It will be a 4-part number, each number between 1, okay, 0 to 255, total 256. So that defines. So each computer, for example, if this is a particular site, it is known by a particular number, an IP address. Okay, and every website, every information has a particular IP address information. So every computer that gets connected, you get connected. Let's say you get connected to the internet. Your machine gets a particular unique IP address. So that is how you find out by typing what is my IP. It will tell you what is your IP. Okay, when you are on the internet. So this is called an IP address. So we saw how internet. Now we know none of us remember people by phone numbers. We remember and associate with them by name. So it would be very difficult to remember the computers by their numbers, 4-digit numbers, 4 parts numbers, which are called IP address. So in order to avoid that, we change this number into a common name, conventional name. For example, if this is google.com, now instead of saying its IP address, we have a name google.com. So if I know the IP address of a site, I can type it straight. You can also search when you type a website, you can look at the bottom of the browser, you will find the IP address getting. So this, what is called mapping from name to its number, and reversely is called DNS, a domain name service. Okay, so converting my name to its corresponding number, and also vice versa when information comes to my browser, that is called domain name service. So I think so this needs to be very clear. IP address, domain name, URL, website, web page, www, internet. Sometimes these terms are used and questions are asked. In the next video, we will go to the protocols.